Over the last 6 or 7 years, I've spent so much time trying to optimize my own productivity, trying to procrastinate less. And in this video, I share a couple of tips that have been absolutely essential and the best for me personally in being effective with my day. Hi everyone, my name is Luba, and the first thing that I've realized is about how you start your day. And so figuring out what is it that makes you happy in the beginning of the day, what gives you a kick, what puts you into that great mood at the very beginning is absolutely key. For me personally, I feel incredibly rushed if I have an early morning call and if I have a lot of calls in the morning. So as a result, now I'm optimizing my first part of the day to be pretty empty, and my favorite parts are working out. I work out 3 times a week now. It's meditating. I've been meditating for 5 minutes a day in the morning consistently over the last month. It's preparing tea or making breakfast, basically having a slow start of the day. I've realized that if you start on a wrong note, your whole day might potentially go downhill. Most of the times I start my day with also a to-do list, which is my tip number 2. I find to-do lists incredibly useful, especially when you write it out by hand, but a lot of the times I just use my Apple Notes app. But when I have my notebook handy over here, I write it out with a physical paper, and I really think, hey, what is it that I absolutely have to do today? And ideally it's just one thing, one highlight, but sometimes you have a trailing to-do list, and that can be okay. But crossing out those to-dos from your list is incredibly satisfying, and really thinking what are those small things and small steps to get to your bigger goal really puts your brain into the mindset of, hey, I know exactly what I need to do, I'm ready to do it. The next thing is the 2-minute rule. 2-minute rule states that if the task takes less than 2 minutes to do, then you should just do it right away. The 2-minute rule comes from David Allen's Getting Things Done book, which is a really great book as an introduction to how to manage your tasks. Highly recommend to read it. But for me personally, not forgetting to respond to emails, doing it right away, responding to tasks, doing small admin things, or even things like picking up the dishes after yourself, cleaning up your desk, things that are really trivial, really quick, but a lot of the times we think that, hey, okay, I'll do it later, and then we forget, most likely, and then your desk gets messy, and then your life gets messy, and then everything is just upside down. But yeah, the 2-minute rule is absolutely great, and I religiously follow that rule, and a lot of the times I remind myself, hey, remember the 2-minute rule? I should just respond to this email right away. So follow that. Another thing that I recently have been very conscientious of is my mind and body connection. In the current incredibly busy world full of information. Speaking of information, I recently did a video about why I haven't been watching the news for the last 10 years. A good thing to check out about the overwhelm with information that we have nowadays. But with all this information, we lose touch with our bodies. So our mind kind of lives a life of its own, and our body lives a life of its own separately. But recently, I've been noticing that your body a lot of the times gives you very clear signals early on about how you should approach your day, how you should approach your week, how you should approach your life generally. And listening to your body can show you the signs of burnout, something that I talked about in my last video. It can show you signs of just taking a break and a small rest. It can show you that you might actually be very excited about doing a very specific task, or maybe you want to be creative, which is also a great relaxation and break for your mind. So listening to your body and not losing touch of that connection is really essential in time management, as surprising it might sound as well. In the last couple of months, I've noticed that sometimes I have a really big urge to sleep in the middle of the day. And that's something very recent because I've never been a napper, but I've been leaning into this desire to take a nap, and I've been feeling so much more fresh, so much fresher. I've been feeling so much fresher. I've been feeling more productive. I've been feeling more enthusiastic. So I almost take it as a sign that, hey, if my body is telling me that I really need to sleep, I should probably lean into that and sleep instead of fighting that and saying, hey, you're not being productive. You're just sleeping all the time, like blah, 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 blah. So I find that not losing touch with this mind and body connection is incredibly essential, because your body a lot of the times knows earlier than it gets to your mind about what you really need to be doing at the time. And trust me, once you do tune into that, you will feel much better, much happier, and most likely much more productive, and will have less struggle with your own time management. Another thing is the Pareto rule. And that's something that my friend Brad, who tweeted about it the other day, has reminded me about when I was preparing for this video. The Pareto rule ultimately says that our activities fill the time that we allocate to them. So if you say, I'm going to prepare for this report today and I have the whole day to do it, most likely the report that you need to prepare will fill the whole day. So what does that mean? That means that the whole day you're probably going to be procrastinating, you're going to be like doing a few things here and there, then multitasking, going on Instagram, talking to your friend, I don't know, doing the dishes, doing anything but the report. And then eventually, by the end of the day, you'll complete it. But if you condense the time that you have to complete this report to, let's say, 30 minutes, then most likely you're actually going to do that report in 30 minutes, because then you know that that's the only time that you've allocated. As Brett's tweet said, your productivity fills the space that you have. Your spending fills the wealth that you have, and your space gets filled with all your possessions. So from my own experience, the Pareto rule almost always stands true, and that's why I'm a lot more bullish on setting personal deadlines, especially when I'm really trying to force myself to be more productive. Another technique that I love is time blocking. Time blocking kind of fits really well into the Pareto principle, because time blocking is almost like setting a deadline for yourself on your calendar for an activity that you intend to do. So not always, I'm not religiously time blocking every single day, but when I do feel like I need to be particularly productive, I take my to-do list and I map it exactly to my calendar, and that allows me to also be very realistic with my time, because you should not forget to block the time that you're gonna rest, the time that you're gonna make food and eat, the time for your commute if you have a commute, the time to just slack and honestly procrastinate. And once you do that, you really realize that time is our most valuable asset, and most likely your to-do list was way too ambitious for what you can actually accomplish. So time blocking serves as an incredible both visual and a deadline setting technique that will make you, or I hope it will make you, it definitely makes me a lot more productive and a lot more focused. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful and productive rest of your day. Bye for now.